Well, when people start paying attention, that's when they realize that things need to change. And I sympathize with that. Let me tell you, speaking of stories, let me tell you when my pre-filing diversion, let me tell you the genesis of my pre-filing diversion program. It dawned on, I was a young county attorney in Juab County. I was, I don't know, maybe 32 or 33 years old at the time. And the state highway patrol had been focusing its drug interdiction efforts on that portion of I-15 that went through my county. And I had a man stopped for, and who was charged with possessing 2 pounds of marijuana. And he was 18 years old. And he came to my office with his defense attorney, the local public defender. And I looked at him and I wondered to myself, what is it that is my responsibility here? This guy bought marijuana in California. He's driving to Montana where he's going to make a buck or two. And my only connection is that he got stopped going through the freeway in my jurisdiction. So why do I care about this? Number one. Number two, what good's it going to do in Juab County for this fellow to have a label of felon going across his forehead? And really, what's my interest here? And as I was grappling with that issue and that question, I simply asked him. I said, "Sir, can you tell me what you want to do when you grow up?" And he said, "Well, I'd like to join the Coast Guard." And I said, "Well, I know you're only 18 years old, but your ability to join the Coast Guard has really diminished when you got caught with that 2 pounds of marijuana." And about the time I said that, I kind of had an epiphany. I said to him, I said, "Listen, I can very easily brand you as a felon, give you 60 days in the Juab County Jail, and move you on your way, where the rest of your life will be diminished because you're now a felon. Or I can try to persuade you to make something of your life with this that grows out of this bad act." I said, "If you want to, you can plead guilty to the third, you can go spend your time in jail, away you go. Or if you want to return to California and enlist in the Coast Guard, I'll hold this case in yours in abeyance for 3 years. And if your father faxes me your pay stub from now until the time 36 months is over, then I will dismiss this case under the terms of this plea in abeyance." Well, he went back, he took that option. He went back to California. He enlisted in the Coast Guard. And I followed every month I'd get a fax. This was in the late 90s when faxes were much more of a thing than they are now. And every 30 days I get a pay stub from his dad that had gotten it from the Coast Guard. And after month 27, the pay stubs changed because he was making more money, and his pay stubs delineated that he'd become a sergeant in the Coast Guard. And I realized once I saw that as an elected prosecutor, I hold many keys to protect our community. It just requires creativity and openness to be willing to find what those keys are. And it requires courage to say, okay, I'm going to let you do something that will help your life and help society rather than just putting you in jail. I'm troubled by the fact that 90% of the people in our county jails are not violent people. There is a place for jail. There's a place for prison. People who are dangerous to society, that's where they need to be. We need to take them out of circulation. And I got no problem doing that. We do that every day, and it's something that we have done well. However, if you're not violent, then it doesn't make any sense for us to put you in jail just long enough for you to lose your job, lose your house, and lose your standing in the community. And so I strongly support finding other alternatives to incarceration for nonviolent offenders. Got another